Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vraja Janaranjana Jaya Yasoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Hare Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Dari Jaya Girivara Dari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Dari Jaya Girivara Dari Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasoda Nandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari 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 Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Swami Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Swami Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me 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 Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha वल्लभ श्री राधे जय राधा वल्लभ श्री राधे जय राधा वल्लभ राधा वल्लभ श्री राधे जय राधा वल्लभ राधा वल्लभ श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद महाराज 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 प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कथामाह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनं हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सतां। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 20. The title of the chapter is The Structure of the Universe, text number 5. Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmanaha Amritasya Cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya Mrityoscha Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ya Satyasya Rithasya Brahmana Amritasya cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti Pratnasya of the oldest person Vishnu, Lord Vishnu Rupam, the form Yat, which Satyasya, of the absolute truth Rithasya, of Dharma Brahmanaha, of the Supreme Brahman Amritasya, of the auspicious result Cha, and Mrityoho, of death, the inauspicious result Cha, and Suryam, the demigod Surya, Atmanam, the super soul or origin of all souls, Imahi, we approach for shelter, Iti, thus. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This mantra by which the inhabitants of Plakshadvipa worship the Supreme Lord. Let us take shelter of the Sun God, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu, the all-expanding Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest of all persons. Vishnu is the only worshipable Lord. He is the Vedas, He is religion, and He is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious results. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Vishnu is even the Supreme Lord of Death, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. There are two kinds of activity, auspicious and inauspicious, and both are controlled by Lord Vishnu. Inauspicious activities are said to be behind Lord Vishnu, whereas auspicious activities stand before Him. The auspicious and the inauspicious exist throughout the entire world, and Lord Vishnu is controller of them both. In regard to this verse, Srila Madhvacharya says, Surya Somagni Varisha Vidatrushu Yatakramam Plakshadi Dvipa Samastasu Stitam Harim Upasate. There are many lands, fields, mountains, and oceans throughout the creation, and everywhere the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by His different names. Srila Viraraghava Acharya explains this verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam as follows. The original cause of the cosmic manifestation must be the oldest person and must therefore be beyond material transformations. He is the enjoyer of all auspicious activities and is the cause of conditioned life and also liberation. The demigod Surya, who is categorized as a very powerful jiva or living entity, is a representation of one of the part of his body. We are naturally subordinate to powerful living entities, and therefore we can worship the various demigods as living beings who are powerful representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the worship of Sun God is recommended in this mantra, He is worshipped not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but as His powerful representative. In the Katha Upanishad 1.3.1, it is said, Ritham pibanto sukratasya loke guham pravishto parame parardhe Chaya tapu brahmavito vadhanti panchagnayo yecha tri nachiketaha. O Nachiketa, the expansions of Lord Vishnu as tiny living entity and the super soul are both situated within the cave of the heart of this body. Having entered the cavity, the living entity resting on the chief of the life airs enjoys the results of activities, and the super soul, acting as a witness, enables him to enjoy them. Those who are well versed in knowledge of Brahman and those householders who carefully follow the Vedic regulations say that the difference between the two is like a difference between a shadow and the sun. In Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.16, it is said, Sa Vishwakrit Vishwa Vidhatmayoni Jnana Kalakaro Guni Sarva Vidyaha Pradhana Kshetrajna Patir Guneshaha Samsara Moksha Sthiti Bandha Hetu. The Supreme Lord, the creator of this cosmic manifestation, knows every nook and corner of His creation. Although He is the cause of creation, there is no cause for His appearance. He is fully aware of everything. He is the super soul, the master of all transcendental qualities. And He is the master of this cosmic manifestation. in regard to bondage to the conditioned state of a material existence and liberation from that bondage. Similarly, in Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8, it is said, Bishasmat Vatah Pavate Bishodhe Suryaha Bishasmat Agnischendrascha Mrityur Dhavati Panchamaha. It is out of fear of the Supreme Brahman that the wind is blowing. Out of fear of him, the sun regularly rises and sets. And out of fear of him, that fire acts. It is only due to fear of him that Death and Indra, the king of heaven, perform their respective duties. As described in this chapter, the inhabitants of the 5 islands, beginning with Plakshadvipa, worship the sun god, the moon god, the fire god, the air god, and Lord Brahma, respectively. Although they engage in the worship of these 5 demigods, however, they actually worship Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities, as indicated in this verse by the verse Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam. Vishnu is Brahma, Amrita, Mrityu, the supreme Brahman and the origin of everything, auspicious and inauspicious. He is situated in the heart of everyone, including all the demigods, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20. Kamaistai gridajnana prapadyante anya devataha. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods. People are almost blind because of lusty desires people are almost less blind because of lusty desires are recommended to worship the demigods to have their material desires fulfilled. But actually, those desires are not fulfilled by the material demigods. Whatever the demigods do is done with the sanction of Lord Vishnu. People who are too lusty worship various demigods instead of worshipping Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities. But ultimately, it is Lord Vishnu they worship because he is the super soul of all demigods. So here, in this section, after crossing from Jambu Dvipa, we are getting into the Plakshadvipa, where the residents of the Plakshadvipa, their prayers are coming. And Srila Prabhupada translates that prayer of the Plakshadvip Vasis, the inhabitants of Plakshadvip, how they worship the sun god. You see here, let us take shelter of the sun god, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu, and all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest of all persons. Vishnu is the only worshipable Lord. He is the Vedas, He is religion, and He is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious results. So in the universal administration of Lord Krishna, actually Krishna does not need any help actually, because he can, by himself he can maintain everything. He is Atma Ram. He does not require anything from outside. But the living entities, they have some desires. The living entities have some desires. Somebody has a desire to dominate. Somebody has a desire to control. Different living entities have different desires. So according to the desires, so Lord Krishna engages them in different portfolios. It's like any universal government. Like we have a government of Australia, government of India, or United States, whatever may be the country. So everywhere there is a government, there is a departmental head, and then not a department, there is a president or prime minister, whoever it is, and then there is various branches and various departments to look after. The same thing, if it is applies here, the same thing applies in a very larger degree. So it is also there. So Krishna, even though he doesn't require any help, but still he engages these devotees. They are also devotees. We have to remember, when we hear the term demigods, sometimes after all, demigods. Yeah, they are demigods because Lord has put him in a position. Why he didn't put us, you and me, into the position? We are not Indra, we are not Chandra, we are not Vayu, we are not Varuna, we are not Agni. Why we are not, that person is Agni, Vayu, Indra, Chandra? Yeah, they have some credentials. Sometimes they may forget. But most of the time they remember. One devotee asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Sometimes I am in Maya, but Prabhupada said, immediately stopped him. All the time you are in Maya, sometimes only we are in Krishna consciousness. Because our position is like that. No, we have to always, we have to understand our position, we have to understand Lord's position, we have to understand demigod's position, then we will not have any confusion. But when we understand our position not correctly, then we think we make ridicule everyone. Oh, like this. Oh, Indra did like that. Brahma died like that. But no, it's not like we are most of the time we are like that only. We are completely nidra. We are just forgotten, completely forgotten. But Devatas, sometimes because it's mind-boggling. It's nothing surprising. If Brahma can be bewildered, if Indra can be bewildered, if Lord Shiva can be bewildered, what are we actually? What is our position? Our position, we are bewildered all the time. 24/7, we are bewildered only. But by the mercy of Prabhupada, by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of Acharyas, we are just reinstated, just a little bit of deviation, just like bring back. But Krishna is so merciful, because it's like Krishna is not like coming for all that, like a small, like a little bit demons here. Krishna doesn't come for that. If there is some variation, there is some problem or something in the universal administration, Lord Krishna personally comes. That comes Brahma Vimohana Leela, Govardhan Leela, like different pastimes Krishna performs to correct some anomalous situation, some different difficult situations what they are going through. Krishna is personally coming. So Krishna is not like just, okay, you have done that. Yes, Krishna understands that, because when the power comes, so then naturally you get a little bit distorted. Prabhupada uses the word distorted. We are a little bit of, we think that like, oh, we are the controller, we are the enjoyer. But every now and then Krishna comes, no, you are not the controller, you are not the enjoyer, you are just a cooperator. Just cooperate with me, come back to me. Don't waste your time here. Krishna comes and reminds every time, every. That is why it is very, very important. This sometimes this subject matter may be mind-boggling. The structure of the universe, all this Plakshadweep, Krovshadweep, that Dweep, Salmali, this different oceans, different hills, different mountains. Oh, I can't remember any of this. It doesn't matter. What we have to remember is ultimately, these things are there. What we have to understand, the whole universe is so huge. It's one universe we are talking about actually. It's one universe only we are talking about. This itself is so huge, so gigantic. And then there are so many millions of universes, millions of Brahmas are there, millions of Indras are there, millions of Devatas are there. So then what are we? Our position is very, very insignificant actually. Our position is very insignificant. Very insignificant. So now, if we understand Krishna is Vibhu and we are Anu, then how we can connect with him? Because he is ready. He is ready to give up whole thing for us actually. He is ready. He is ready to give. Na tad bhasayate suryo, na sasanko, na pavakah, yad ghatva na nivartante, tadhama paramam mama. Krishna says, you come back to me, my abode. Na tad bhasayate suryo. Same Surya we are talking about. The Surya is only in the material world. There is no need of Surya, Chandra, Agni, Vayu, Varuna. All these things are not needed in the spiritual world. Because spiritual world, everything is self-effulgent. So there is no need of separate Surya, separate Chandra, separate this, separate. All these things are not needed. So Krishna is requesting, canvassing actually, so to say. Not only requesting, canvassing, like a travel agent, come to Malaysia, come to Thailand, come to Fiji, they say come to the same way. Krishna is canvassing. Come, natad bhasayate suryo, yuktasasankona pavakah, yad ghatvana nivartante, tadham. My abode is like that. Why can't you come? You enjoy with me. But we are saying, no, we are happy here. Even though it's full of miseries, full of problems, adi atmik, adi bhautik, still we are just adjusting here, little bit here, little bit there. We are making all these adjustments. For what are we doing? We are what are we trading? Our the position back home, back to Godhead. We are trying to adjust little bit here in the material world. Very sure, Krishna has given this is Dukkhalayam Saswatam. Nobody else can make it Sukhalayam and permanent. Nobody can make it. But still,
having come to this material world, somehow or other, if we engage ourselves in devotional service, so this place also livable. That is what Srila Prabhupada proved. Yes, this place, even though it is the worst of the place, but still he went there and he started this Hare Krishna movement and then gave some meaning to life. This is like in the Vyasa Puja offering, so many devotees were saying, the meaning to life, Srila Prabhupada has given meaning to life. Otherwise, what is life? Like just coming here, again taking birth, dying, and then again taking birth and having a family, looking after some children, and that everybody does actually. Then punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare sayanam. This cycle will continue, unless otherwise we come to understand who we are, who God is, what is my relationship with God, and what do I have to, how to re-establish that relationship. I'll go back home, back to God. All this purpose. That is, if we can understand that, then if you don't understand how many yojanas the Plakshadweep, how many yojanas the Kraujatip, how many yojanas Jambudip, if you don't understand that, that's okay. Because it's very difficult actually, because we are not, our Kali Yuga brain is Manda Sumanda Madayo, Manda Bhagya Upadra. If we say first sloka when we read, second sloka we forget actually. Second sloka when we read, first sloka we forget actually. We don't remember all of that. So this is the point, ultimately what we have to remember is this. Yes, how we can establish ourselves in the service of Krishna and then finish our business and go back home, back to garden. So that if we can remember that only, everything else is superfluous only. Now, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, Lord Vishnu is even the supreme Lord of death. This is like in the Vibhuti Yoga, in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking, who are you? What is your purpose? And why are you here? And all this, because this is like 11th chapter, thank you. 11th chapter, after the big Vishwarupa. Then, after that, Krishna says, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. I am Mrityu. I am the all devouring death. I come to devour everything, other than the few Pandavas who are left. They are the people who are going to be spared. Everything I am going to finish, actually. So that is another feature of the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada many times says, if you don't want to see God in a very pleasant feature, you have to see God in the cruel feature. Sometimes, no, I know God, no, God is not there. No, God is not there, that is not a question. God will come. You don't want to see God in this pleasant form, Sam Sundar form, Jagannath form, Gaur Nitai form, you don't want to see God? Yes, God will come in the form of Mrityu. And then that time you can't argue, no? You can't do that, this way, that way, no arguments, no kind of big discussions. No? It's not possible. So better voluntarily. That is what Krishna gives the independence. Krishna gives the independence so that we can voluntarily surrender to Krishna. Krishna doesn't want keep the gun and this thing, like now you surrender, otherwise. No, not like that. No, because that type of thing won't work. Because love cannot be forced. Love cannot be imposed like that. Love has to come out of, yes, I am insignificant. You are completely a master of everything. And this is my duty to surrender to you. That has to come as a, like an intuition. Like the person has to feel and then he has to act on that. Otherwise, like if somebody says, okay, then after that you may change your mind or something. But if it comes through your own experience, so then it is better. So Lord Krishna gives the infinitesimal independence for the living entity. So Srila Prabhupada says here, auspicious, inauspicious. This activity, auspicious and inauspicious activities exist throughout the entire world. Lord Vishnu is the controller of them both. He is the controller. Because inauspicious and auspicious, it's all still part of Lord only. Like it is Krishna says, everything is aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvita. Because this is, whatever is in existence has to come from Lord only. From where it will come? It won't come from the void, actually, because the auspicious, inauspicious. So Srila Prabhupada explains about that auspicious, inauspicious in a very nice way in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the sloka and purport. chapter 9, what auspicious and inauspicious Srila Prabhupada says, Yat karoshi, yad asnashi, yad juhoshi, dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. So it tells this sloka, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever you austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Immediately next to sloka, Prabhupada says, Krishna says, Subha subhau phalayat evam moksha se karma bandhana sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mam upaisyasi. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come back to me. So, Srila Prabhupada in another purport explains, anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reaction, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. The conception of that the things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concoction, because there is nothing auspicious in the material world. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious. Real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, if we at all want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in authoritative scriptures such as Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita, or bona fide spiritual master. So this is what auspicious and inauspicious. Because the activity, if it is done for the pleasure of the Lord, automatically it becomes auspicious. Yajnartat karmanon anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. If you don't do activity for Vishnu, then the activity will create bondage. It's simple. Only two ways only. There is no third way. There is no third way for the other things only. But only second way. Only one way and second way. What is the first way? You do activity for the Yajnartat. For Lord Vishnu, you perform activity, karma bandhana. If you don't do that, then become bondage. Lokoyam karma bandhana. Because this is the only beauty. So if we can understand auspicious, inauspicious is on our own making only. Because if we do activity, this as Krishna says, yat karoshi, yat asnashi, yat juhoshi, dadasi yat tapasyasi. All these things, if you are done for Krishna in the devotee's life, there is no inauspiciousness. Always auspicious only. There is no inauspicious, no trace of inauspiciousness in the case of devotee if engaged in that way. So, Srila Prabhupada quotes from Madhvacharya, there are many lands, fields, mountains and oceans throughout the creation, and everywhere the Supreme Personality of Godhead worshipped by His different names. So, we understand, like this, we are going to discuss, like there are different dvipas are going to come, and then this is like only, we are just discussing only the Borloka. This is Bhuloka, correct? Bhuloka. Then this is only one portion only, because even this itself is creating so much of confusion and so much of this thing. Like we are when you read all these different yojanasana, we just little bit of yojanasana. We don't understand 200 all this big 200,000, 100,000. Like we are like what are we talking about actually? We are not just like, we are like some 100 square feet house only we are familiar with, and we are all talking about yojanas. Big yojanas we are talking about actually. So it's all very mind-boggling actually. And this is only this Bhuloka, and then Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Magarloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and then Brahmaloka. Where are we actually? We are just, so now if we, that is why this reading, we have to, I think every day we have to read this, because then we know, because then we will not get puffed up actually. Actually, after reading this also, we get puffed up. I get puffed up. See, thinking that, oh yeah, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, I can control this. But when we understand, our position is very, very insignificant. This is the lesson we have to learn. Our position is insignificant. Lord's position is so great, and that particular Lord has become ready to accept our service. So how eager or how much I should be ready to serve Him. That message, if I can get, then it is success. Then we have understood the message of this creation of the universe or the universal structure. We are not going to make another universe, a parallel universe or something. For that, we are not reading this. We can't do that. We can't, one house only, 30 years mortgage we have to stay. And then what are you going to do with the universe actually? We can't do anything like this. What we can do is appreciate, understand the vastness of that, the greatness of the Lord, and how insignificant we are, and then how we can serve the Lord. If we can achieve that, then that is success actually. So here then Srila Viraragavacharya, Srila Prabhupada explains how, because this is one beauty. Srila Prabhupada's, when we read Prabhupada's books, whether it's Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, or any books you read, you get to know, you see when only Bhagavad Gita, when you read, there will be references to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charita. If you read others, there will be reference. Like that, Prabhupada is like, you don't have to feel like, oh yeah, I am not reading that, I am not doing this. No need actually. And also, all the acharyas also. Like Prabhupada, Viraragavacharya, Sridhara Swami, what he says, what is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, what he says, and also Baladev Vidyabhushan opinions, like all these things he puts for us. Like if we have to go understand the Sanskrit, understand the Bengali, understand this, understand all these things and appreciate that, it's very difficult. So Srila Prabhupada, see that is why we are very indebted to Prabhupada, because of giving everything under one particular purport, and each purport is complete in itself actually. That is, Krishna says in 18th chapter only, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. But Prabhupada first sloka only will say, you have to surrender to Krishna. Because Prabhupada is very concerned whether this fellow will come up to the 18th chapter, whether he will survive, and if he survives, then will he understand, and then he will surrender to Krishna. So first sloka only will say, you have to surrender to Krishna. This is the verdict of all. That's it, finished. That way, the fellow comes for the first class, from that fellow also will get a message. So it's not that he will not get the message, he will get. So this is the beauty actually. So that is compassion. This is called compassion. And here, so Srila Prabhupada gives this, the explanation given by Srila Viraragavacharya. Viraragavacharya explains this verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam as follows. The original cause of the cosmic manifestation must be the oldest person and must therefore be beyond material transformation. Brahmaji confirms that. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadir Adhir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So everybody confirms. So it's not like only one personality says that's it. No, not like that. That is why in the 10th chapter, after the Chatur Sloki, what Arjuna says? Param Brahma, Parandhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Saswatam, Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. He doesn't stop like that. Ahustva Rishayah Sarve, Devarishi Naradastata. Ahuswar Shayah Sarve Devarishi Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Saiva Bravishime. So now you said everything, okay, I understood. But not only you, all these authorities, all the Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, all these people, they have also confirmed. What do they have to do? What they don't have to, what is their expectation from you? They don't expect anything from you. I have something to expect you. I have to be subservient to you. What do they have? They don't depend on you. They don't have anything. They don't need anything actually, for that matter, from us actually. We need them. Vyasadeva, what he has to do with us actually? But out of compassion, he has given this the method. So that is why these authorities, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna only. There is no difference. And even Shankaracharya. Narayana Paro Avyaktat. Narayana Paro Avyakta. Narayana is beyond creation. This is like even the conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas. Vishnu Dutas are asking, what is this? Why they are asking, why are you forbidding us? So then in the conversation, Veda Narayana Sakshat. Yamadutas have so much philosophy, they understand. They say Yamadutas. Yamadutas always predicted like some ugly, this, that, all this, but they know the philosophy. Veda Narayana Sakshat. Veda Narayana Sakshat. Vedas mean Narayana Sakshat. They are Narayana, whatever the breathing of the Lord, that is Vedas. And what they say, iti sushruma. Prabhupada hammers that point. Iti sushruma. Not that sushruma means we have heard from our master, Dharmaraj. Veda Narayana Sakshat. Vedas are like directly coming from Narayana. This is like this, we have to understand. So here, whatever Prabhupada writes, whatever the Acharyas write, they are all corroborated, and all the evidences are there. It is up to us to go and look for these things. Like there are 18 Puranas are there, all the Itihasas are there, and the different Upanishads are there. All these things, the information is given. But our problem is, we are very, very time bound. We have so many other things to do. Then this is the most important thing in our life, but we have so many other things to do, concentrate on. And what is the purpose? After that, this is Shrama Evaihi Kevalam. We have spent so much of energy, so much of our resources, so much of energy doing so many things, but we have not understood the prime purpose of this human form of life. Then it's a waste of time. So Viragavacharya continues here. He is the enjoyer of all auspicious activities and is the cause of conditioned life also, and also liberation. He is also the cause of conditioned life. Because conditioned life is also given by the Lord based on the desire of the living entity. It is not Lord doesn't want us to be conditioned to the material world. It is not Lord's desire. Sometimes people say, if Lord knows everything, why He put me into this condition? No, He didn't put in the condition. You only put yourself in this condition. Because of our unceremonious desire, Prabhupada's words are very, very special. Unceremonious desire. Have you ever, I have never heard that word anyway. Ceremony we have understood. Unceremonious desire. Because we have developed a desire, some desire you should not have developed, but you have developed it. Unceremonious desire you have developed. So you have developed that desire, and then we have to pay the price. That's what we are paying, life after life, life after life, life. Until that time, the spiritual master, Acharya, comes and catches us. Okay, no, what are you doing here? You belong to that place. What are you doing, wasting your time here? Then the real spiritual life begins, actually. Until that time, we are just like that merry-go-around. Merry-go-around. There is no merry here. Just suffer-go-around, actually. And he is the enjoyer. The demigod Surya, who is categorized as a very powerful jiva or living entity, is a representation of one of the parts of his body. So this is a very powerful jiva. The Vedic scriptures, there are a lot of essential qualifications are given, like whenever you apply for a job, necessary qualification, essential qualification, some mandatory things, like that is mentioned. Like if somebody has performed 100 Aswamedha Yajna, you can become Indra. But don't look in the manual how to perform Aswamedha Yajna. Because by chanting Hare Krishna, you can go back home, back to Godhead. What is the use of performing Aswamedha Yajna actually? So, Aswamedha Yajna. And if you perform 100 lifetimes, strictly the lifetimes of Varnashrama Dharma, then you can become Brahma. All these things can be done. There are prescriptions are there. If you do this, you do that. If you perform this, you go to this planet. You perform this, all these different vratas, different yajna, different tapasya, all these things you can do. There are many prescriptions are there. But what is the use? Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartina Arjuna maam upetyotu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Punarjanma will come with you. Behind you only it will keep on coming. Only a matter of time. Brahmaji lives 100 years of his life. One day of Brahma, 14 Manus come. This is another mind-boggling thing. If you sometimes, if you have to, somebody has to reel the head, like you talk about the universe, and then half of this thing head will reel, and you talk about the 14 Manus and Manvantaras, then another half of the people will get little bit of a reeling of the head, because 14 Manus they come in a day of Brahma, 14 in a day of Brahma only, not in the life of Brahma. 14 Manus in the day of Brahma only. And then that means 14 times the Indra is changing. 14 times the Devatas are changing. 14 times the Rishis are changing. Sapta Rishis, Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varna, everybody, all the portfolio is filled up. In 14 times in a day of Brahma. So which one you are referring to actually? You may refer to somebody, but which one you are referring to? So this is the way. We have to, like this if we understand, then, my position, I thought maybe I am the master of the universe. No, I am not the master of the universe. I'm not even part of this thing only. I'm just a speck only. We are a speck in the whole cosmic thing. We are only a speck only. Sometimes people, very, very pessimistic attitude. People will say, you people are very, very pessimistic. Like, how can you? You are the doer, you are the achiever. No? All these things are needed to live in this material world. But you tell that person you are a speck. How can you call me? I am a speck. I am the controller of I was thinking I am the controller of the universe. No, you are not the controller of the universe. No? You are only a small. Best thing to say is just cooperate. Cooperate with the Lord, then the speck will make 0 and 1. No? Like you are 1, 0. Just to put 1, Lord is there, then at least become 10 actually. Like that, now you have to do that. So here, Viraragavacharya's explanation, Prabhupada is saying, we are naturally subordinate to powerful living entities, and therefore we can worship the various demigods as living beings who are powerful representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the way. If at all, if somebody has a affinity or somebody has a attraction, then understand their position also. Sometimes we have seen in our people will go for a home program. Oh, you have a picture of a Devata here. Out. People will give this thing. But they don't understand. Instead of giving that instruction, why can't you say, understand their position? Who are they? How they are related to Krishna? How they are serving Krishna? And then you can give respect to them. That is understandable. Instead of that, immediately just out. No, it doesn't work like that. Because that person may be 55 years, 60 years, he has been doing that worship only. So instead of that disturbing him, you have to give him a right approach. Yes, you are worshipping that way. Yes, but you understand this is like Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the lady. One lady was there in an old village. She was having a problem, and then the constable in that in that area, he was helping her, and she had always very great respect for him, and he regarded. So one time the constable and all the big ministers and all the big officers, they all came. So they took some blessings. So the lady gave the blessing. You become constable. This person is already, he's a minister level, but he is giving a blessing. You become a constable. Because from her point of view, she can say from her point of view, you at least next life, you become a constable. Because in her life, the best position is becoming a constable in a police office. That is a big thing. But same way, we have to understand, yes, there are personalities are there. We are not doubting that. But they are also part of their mission, fulfilling the mission of the Lord. They are also doing that. Like Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita also. And also he's in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yadaditya gadam tejo jagat bhasayate akilam yas chandramasi yas chagnu tat tejo viddimamakam. Krishna says that. Yat aditya gadam tejo jagat bhasayate akilam. The Aditya, this Aditya is Surya, sun god. His Aditya's power, where it is coming from? Yad Aditya gatam tejo, tad bhasayate, yat Aditya gatam tejo, jagat bhasayate akilam, yes chandramasi et chagno, tat tejo viddi mamakam. All this Shakti, I am giving the power. The power is coming from Krishna. We have to understand that. Everywhere in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everywhere there is an explanation there. How Surya, how Chandra, they are all getting. Then somewhere else in Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham apsu kaunteya, prabhasmi shashi surayo. He's still saying, I am the sun, I am the moon. Because this is where you give respect. Yeah, whenever you see sun, yes, Surya. See, because whose tejas he is dissipating. It's not his own tejas. He is dissipating the tejas. Whatever is power given by the Supreme Lord, he is dissipating. So the original glory, so that is why Srila Prabhupada says here in the later section of the purport, they are not worshipping Surya as like Surya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are worshipping Surya as he is a representative of the Supreme Lord. That way, if we understand the Devatas, understand the demigods, there is no contradiction. Because if you understand, you are everything, you are the controller, you only move all the universes, if you understand like that, then that may not be the right understanding. So we have to understand their position, Lord's position, how they are fulfilling in the mission of the Lord, how they are doing the activities, then there is no confusion. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he visited South India, he went to different temples actually. He went to Rameswaram, he went to Ranganath temple, obviously it's a Vishnu temple. He went to Madurai Meenakshi temple, he went there also. And also different Shiva temples also. And all the temples he visited. Not that if he is visited, why he is visiting? When he understands the mood, and he knows they are all like a Vaishnavanam Yata Sambhu. They are also devotees of the Lord. That way, if you understand, there is no problem. But if you understand in a different way, oh yeah, Lord, this person, Krishna cannot fulfill my desire, so this person can do that. No? That way, if we have understand, is a misunderstanding. It's not understanding, it's a misunderstanding. If you go that, then you will be kind of tricked actually, which Krishna is going to explain here in the later. So here Viraragavacharya says, conclude, although the worship of the sun god is recommended in the mantra, he is worshipped not as the supreme personality of Godhead, but as his powerful representative. His powerful representative. He is a representative of the Lord, then we have to give respect. All the vibhutis, that why Krishna goes into the great extent in the 10th chapter, all the different vibhutis, he's explaining, all the opulence of the absolute. He explains all how I am this thing, of the Adityas, I am the Vishnu, and all this, of all the Ravi Ramsuman, I am the sun and I am the moon. All these things he is explaining, so that when you see all the opulences, naturally we will be a little bit attracted. Oh, these opulences are there. But where these opulences are coming from? Coming from Krishna. So that way, like we can have a clear understanding how position of the Lord. So this is the way to understand. And then Srila Prabhupada explains a passage from Katha Upanishad, the pastime of Nachiketa. It's a very nice pastime. You might have heard this pastime, Nachiketas. Nachiketas was a boy, and I'll just it's a very big this thing. We are not going to get into the whole pastime, but I'll just Nachiketa was his father was Vajasrava. His father was Vajasrava. So Vajasrava, he was performing very big sacrifice. That sacrifice, he is supposed to give so many things, so many good quality, all the articles in charity. But Vajasrava was not giving that. But he wanted to perform the sacrifice, but he was performing all the old cows and all the unused, not of use, any use to one, those things I was giving in charity. So this Nachiketas saw this. This comes in the Katha Upanishad. So he saw that my father is trying to get the benefit of this sacrifice, and he is doing all these things. So he was a little bit disappointed. So he said, Father, I am also your property only. I am also your property. Whom you are going to give me as charity? Because he just he was like a little bit became. Think what my father is doing, all these useless things he is giving in charity. But charity means you have to give the things which are going to be useful. So that 2 times, 3 times he asked. So father got very wild and he said, I am going to give us charity to Yama. So I am going to give you charity to Yamaraj, the Dharmaraj, Yama Dharmaraj. So then Nachiketas went, traveled all the way to the Yamapatna, Yamaloka, Yamapuri. And when he arrived in the Yamapuri, he was there out of station because Yamadharmaraj was not there. 3 days he has to stay outside. Outside, because there is normally when you go to a place, etiquette is, you have to welcome him. Whoever it is, you have to welcome him, give some residence, some water or something, whatever you can offer. So when Yamaraj came out of station, then came to station, then he asked, Nachiketas is waiting outside. Then he inquired, what do you want? I came to this, I was given charity, my father gave us a charity to you. Then first Yamaraj said, okay, no problem, those things later. First you have waited here 3 days and I didn't look after you properly, so I can give you 3 boons. He wanted to give 3 boons to Nachiketas. So Nachiketas, he asked, okay, first boon. I was asking first boon. My father is very, very kind of, he's not like, he behaved like that. So father got angry with me and he could not do all these things. So please calm him down and so he can understand. So Yamaraj said, no problem, all done. And second thing is he want to understand the sacrifice, how to sacrifice, what kind of things to perform so that you can go back home, back to Godhead. So Yamaraj explained that also. And the third thing, Nachiketa said, there is a mystery. There is a mystery about birth, death, and what happens after death, and what all these complicated the questions. Like he was asking, so Yamaraj, not that Yamaraj didn't know, Yamaraj knows everything, but Yamaraj wanted to test him, whether this person is really interested. So he said, why Nachiket? Like the same way Dhruva Maharaj was tested by Narada Muni. Why Dhruva, what are you doing here? You go and play with all your friends, don't waste time in the forest. So like that Nachiket was dissuaded, but Nachiket was very fixed. The Yamaraj will say, oh, you take everything, all the land, I will make you a king, I will give you all the material facility. No, he said, no, I'm not interested. I just want to know the secret of the life. What is life and what is after life and what is going to happen. All this is like a whole discussion there. Finally, what happens is Nachiket, Yamadharma Raja Yama is giving all the instruction, what is the intricacies of the soul and how this thing is working and all, how you can extricate yourself and go back home, back to Godhead. All this explanation is given. So this is like so that Nachiketa is a very, in the normal, the Vedic circle, they always refer to the story of Nachiketa. Because Nachiketa is a story where it is like the person, he didn't fall prey to the whatever the temptations of this material world. So that story is, Prabhupada refers to that in the Katha Upanishad about the Nachiketa. And then Srila Prabhupada quotes a verse from Svetasvatara Upanishad. The Supreme Lord, the creator of this cosmic manifestation, knows every nook and corner of his creation. Although he is the cause of creation, there is no cause for his appearance. He is fully aware of everything. He is the super soul, the master of all transcendental qualities. He is the master of cosmic manifestation. In this regard, in regard to bondage to the conditioned state and material existence and liberation from the bondage. So here, and the Supreme Lord is also a super soul. We see in the beginning of, in the Bhagavad Gita, there is many places where Lord is situated as a Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham, hriti sannivishto, matah smritir jnanam apohanamscha, vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo, vedanta krit vedavid eva cha. Krishna says, I am situated in everyone's heart as a Paramatma, and he is controlling, he is like whatever the desires of the living entity, accordingly he is helping them to fulfill the desires. Sarvasya chaham priti sannivishtu. He is situated and he is doing that. That is why in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we find the Kshetra, Kshetrajna. Because there are two Kshetrajnas are there. One is the Kshetrajna is, we are also Kshetrajna. We are limited in ours. But Krishna is a Kshetrajna, Kshetrajnam sarva deheshu, what is that sloka? Kshetrajnam Sarva Deheshu Bharata, something like that. Because he knows the Kshetrajna for everything. He knows the situation of everybody. Not only our body. We know only our body, but Krishna knows everybody. Everybody and everybody. He knows that also. Because he is a Paramatma, Anumanta, Upadrashta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. He is Anumanta. He has to permit. Anumanta, Anumati. They say Anumati means, even though Anumati is always like every language use that Anumati. Anumati is from Sanskrit. Anumati. You have to permit. Anumanta, Upadrashta. Drishta means seeing. Upadrashta means sitting beside and seeing. Anumanta, Upadrashta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. He is the master. He is the enjoyer. Paramatmepi chapi yukto dehesmi purushapara. So, as a Paramatma, as a super soul, he is there and he is giving us all the dictations actually. And Srila Prabhupada quotes from the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is out of fear of the Supreme Brahman that the wind is blowing, out of fear of him that the sun regularly rises and sets, and out of fear of him the fire acts. It is only due to fear of him that Death and Indra, the king of heaven, perform their respective duties. So this is a Taittiriya Upanishad says like that. Also Brahma Samhita, we know the famous prayer, Yachak Shureshu Savita Sakaragrahanam Raja Samasta Suramurtir Ashesa Tejaha Yagyaya Brahmati Sampratakala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yes, Agyaya. Krishna gives the Agya. According to the Agya, the sun god rises and sets It's not like there is no, we have not seen like today's newspaper, the sun didn't rise today, or there is some strike there and hartal there, or no, nothing like that. We have not seen that. Every day it is happening, every day. Every day sun is rising, sun is setting. Yes, Agyaya, Brahmati, Samprita Kala Chakra. So the Kala Chakra, he is rising mounting the wheel of Chakra, and he comes and he gives and that is, yes, Agyaya. Everything is like that. So this is what, so actually for us, the scriptures are there, Brahma Samhita is there, all the Puranas are there, so where we have references, so it's not like we are not like just because of Krishna we are saying like that, we are Hare Krishna, that's why we are, no, not like that, because Shastra says, and if you have some clarity, if you want some, we have to be in a platform, then only we can discuss. We have to accept something. We can't have a discussion in the air. We can't have a discussion in the air. Either you accept Bhagavad Gita, or accept Vedas, accept the Puranas, accept something, then only we can have discussion. Otherwise, we can't just discuss, oh, it is like that, you are saying something like that, something like that. It doesn't work like that. And here, the Prabhupada concludes in the purport, as described in this chapter, the inhabitants of the 5 islands, beginning with Plakshadweep, worship the sun god, the moon god, the fire god, the air god, and the Lord Brahma, respectively. Although they engage in the worship of these 5 demigods, however, they actually worship Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities. Actually, the worship is for him only. Even though they may seem like they are saying we are worshipping like that. So Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, in many places, but we'll look at one of the place where, in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada refers that also in a purport form. Yepi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidipurvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Epi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mamevi kaunteya yajanti avidipurvakam. Vidipurvakam, avidipurvakam. Vidipurvakam means, this is simple, like touch the nose like this. This is vidipurvakam. Avidipurvakam means like this. It is not coming for me because of avidipurvakam. Avidipurvaka worship is not recommended. But the problem is people think like that. Yeah, it's like that. I will do like this. Avidipurvakam. So Narada Muni says in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, this, when you want to water the root of the tree, when you water a plant, you water the root of the tree. When you want the whole body to be nourished, you feed the stomach. Same way, when you please Achyuta, when you please Krishna, automatically everybody will be pleased. Yatha taror mula nishechanena. That sloka, Narada Muni says, this is the way of worship. The best way of Vidipurvakam is just like pour the water at the root of the tree. That is Vidipurvakam. I am just going to feed each branch, each twig, each flower. It doesn't work like that. Same way, you put the food in the mouth, automatically the whole body gets nourished. Same way, when you offer your worship to the Lord, automatically everybody is pleased. So that way, so we have to understand, and here it is said, although they engage in the worship of these 5 demigods, they actually worship Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities. Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam. He is situated in the heart of everyone, including all the demigods. Demigods are also living entities. Just like we are jivas, they are also jivas. We have a living, because their living standards and all these things are higher standard. Maybe somebody is like Devaloka or like a Swargaloka, their living standards may be higher. Maybe if you go a bit upper, like the Swargaloka, then Makaraloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, their standards may be very high standards of living will be there. But still they are also living entities. Even Brahmaji is also a living entity. He is also Jiva, but a very empowered Jiva. Jiva who is like a Saktya Avesha, sometimes like the Vibhuti. Sometimes the Lord gives the power of attorney. Okay, now you do this thing on my behalf. You look after. I have already created everything. You do the secondary creation on my behalf. So Lord gives that power of attorney to that living entity. Indra also. Yeah, Indra is a position. So the person has performed all these things, the qualified jiva, so that position is given to that person. So that is why the people, the planet they worship, they don't worship the Surya Dev as like a supreme. No. They worship Surya Dev. You are a great representative of the Supreme Lord. That is good. And that is a glorification of the Lord. And also that is a glorification for Surya Dev also. Because Surya Dev will be very happy to hear that I am a representative of the Lord. Not that Surya Dev, I am independent, you are the controller of everything. No, if he is Surya Dev, will get upset actually. I am not that. And that is why Srila Prabhupada says here, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, Kamaistaistai hridajnana prapadyante anya devata. Because those whose minds distorted by material desire surrender unto demigods. People who are almost blind because of lusty desires are recommended to worship the demigods to have their material desires fulfilled. Because the Vedic system works like this. You have a problem, you have a solution. You have this, you have that. But that doesn't mean that is for everyone. Because it's not like Krishna knows that not everybody is anyabhilashita, sunyam, jnana, karmadi, anavritam. No, people are not in that level. Not everybody is in this level that completely no material motivation, no material interruption, just pure devotional service. Yeah, few people are like that. But spiritual world, everybody is like that only because that is their constitutional position. So people are not, everybody is like that. So they have to make a gradual progress. That is why slowly, steadily, all these different puja, different samskaras, all these things are performed so that gradually elevate the person from one level to the next level, one level to the next level. That is why when you perform karma, the karma, why Vedic system perform the activity of karma. When you perform karma, one day you will understand, why am I performing all these things? If I haven't come back to this place, why should I perform this? Then he will go, oh, I don't want to perform karma, I want to do karma yoga. So then he will come to the next stage. So then he will have next understanding. So by performing these rituals or performing these ceremonies, he will come to the next stage. It will gradually elevate him. That the Varnashrama Dharma is to gradually elevate a person from this level, next level, final level. That is why Varnashrama Charvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnor Aradhyate Panta. So we have to come to the final understanding that Lord Vishnu has to be worshipped. That understanding one has to come. So this is a starting place for that. So that is why some people will be like that. But we should not think that, okay, this is finally, Krishna says, I am the one who is fulfilling the desire. The devatas, they cannot do themselves. This is like in the 7th chapter, Lord Krishna says, even though the devatas, you may be worshipping the devata, but devatas cannot fulfill the desire without the sanction from the Lord. So finally the desire is fulfilled by the Lord. So all these things are mentioned here. So the point we have to take here is so yes, we are worshipping the Supreme Lord. That's good. But the same way we have to respect, because they are all like official representatives, powerful representatives of the Lord. We offer our respects. We are not here to just make fun of them or anything, because sometimes, that is why one thing we have to remember, most of the time they remember their position. Sometimes they forget and they little bit of their illusion, little bit. And then immediately Lord personally comes and corrects their problems also. So they are so great that Lord personally comes and corrects. Like for us, if we don't make mistake, only material nature will give us a tap only, not Supreme Lord comes and corrects them also. So that is their glory actually. So this way we understand the Lord and how these devatas are there, the demigods are there, how they are cooperating, how they are serving the Lord in their capacity. So if we understand their position, then there is no problem. If we independently think they are independent of the Lord, they are separately, we worship them, then it will create a problem. Today, we all know everywhere, today they are celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi, which is Vinayaka Chaturthi. So, because we all pray, because that's why Brahma Samhita, the prayer there, this is like Yat Pada Pallava Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha Dhvande Pranama Samayecha Ganadi Raja Vignam Vihantam Alamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, the Lord Ganesh, he is the protruding, the tumuli, he is holding the feet of Lord Govinda, Narsinghadev. He is holding and he is the removing all the obstacles of the devotees. So that is why we also pray. My dear Lord, you are... See, this is the worship. We never say that I don't go to the other temples. We also go, but we go and we pray, Lord, any devata. So you are a wonderful devotee of the Lord. You are worshipping the Lord. You are performing services for the Lord. Please give me a remembrance of the Lord. Please let me remember the Lord. You are serving nicely. Let me also remember the Lord nicely. And that way, if you offer respect, you will be right position, right way, and also the devatas will give their blessings very much. Why? Because they understand their position. We don't understand their position correctly sometimes, but they know who am I, who Supreme Lord is. So if you told the devata that you are the sun, you are the moon, you are the creator of everything, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They may get, so no, they know. If you say you are a great devotee of the Lord, you are doing that, and then please give me a mercy, give your blessings, so that I may also become a devotee of the Lord, then they will appreciate that. Actually. Durga Devi appreciates that. Lord Shiva, what is this whole Śrīmad Bhāgavatam prayers? He appreciates that. He goes to Prachetas and he says, you are all great devotees of the Lord. I am very much pleased. I just came to give you by association. This is the Lord. How much they are attached to the... So this is what we have to learn. We learn from the... So this is like, okay, Devata worship is not... We are not tomorrow we are going to start one corner, we are going to start Devata worship or anything here. No, not that. But when we understand their position, how they are dear to the Lord, how they are performing their services to the Lord, then we take blessings from them. They are also authorized representatives. But this worship, bhajanti, Prabhupada says, worship is for the Supreme Lord. And we have to offer respects. There is nothing wrong in that. That way we have to understand. So there is, if you understand their position and if you understand our position, how they are serving the Lord in their capacity, then there is no problem. If you don't understand our capacity and then we imagine something or we do something, then problem comes. So that way that the structure of the universe gives us the understanding who we are, how insignificant we are, how the whole universe structure is there. We can understand our position. We are a speck. And how we can put ourselves in cooperation, whatever the Lord is giving, and if we can cooperate with Him, then our life will be success. So if we can understand that all the yojanas and all the different concentric, all these different circles, if we can't understand, okay, so sometimes I read again and again, and sometimes I just... I don't understand, then at least it's a one consolation. Yes, at least I understand this we have to understood. Then it's all right. That's fine. As long as if you don't understand that, then everything becomes like a Shrama eva hi kevalam. We don't want to do that. So that much purpose is there. We have to take it from there. And we are very much thankful to Prabhupada giving this all these references, all these things, so that we make the main point, has made very clear for us what is to be understood from this particular sloka. So the Supreme Lord, Narayana, Krishna is worshipped, even though they are worshipping, he is a representative of the Lord. Surya is worshipped, but he is worshipped as a representative of the Supreme Lord. And that way he is given respect, not other way. So thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Just wondering a bit about the spirituality and the religions of other, for example, societies like Aboriginal people in Australia, because they also worship demigods, the earth, the sun, and can be considered as a worship, demigod worship.
See, that is why one place here in the purport, we are naturally subordinate to powerful living. See, in the what of the purport there is a statement here where Prabhupada explains, we are naturally subordinate to powerful living entities, and therefore we can worship the various demigods as living beings who are powerful representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, sun they worship the moon, they worship the mountain, they worship the river, they worship the ocean. So because they are not yet aware of, behind this, there is a personality. They may not be aware of that. So that is one stage. I'm not saying completely they are totally gone or totally at least they are following a process, because whatever given by their authorities or their ancestors, because yes, they know, because they will be thinking, yes, sun, every day they see the sun, and then that gives so much of power for everyone. But that starts, the life, spiritual life starts like that. At least appreciate, I am not the supreme, I am a speck, there is someone higher than that. If that understanding is there, that is better actually. But the next better understanding is, now, okay, he is there, and then where it is coming from. Next. We have to go, this is like a beginning stages, and then there is a next stage. But if somebody starts like that, everywhere it starts like that only. Not only Aboriginal here, back in other forest or somewhere, even in other villages, everywhere, even they worship like that. They start like that, because people come, because dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Because first they come, they just want to, why they follow? Because for some kind of dharma, they follow for dharma, artha, they want to get something. Artha, they want to get something. And then artha, what they will do? Kama. But when you do engage in karma or in sense gratification, automatically you will get frustrated, and then what is this? What is life? Why am I frustrated? Then look for moksha. Karma, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The whole sequence works like that only. So it starts like that only. If somebody starts worshipping, we don't have to disturb them, but slowly we have to bring them to the next level. Yes, you understand Lord Surya, but beyond Surya there is a personality. Where Surya is getting the power from, then we can make the personality understand, then it becomes better actually.
For example, in South America, the worship of the Sangha, it's quite prominent. In the South America.
Yes.
And it's more like a collective worship to maintain sacrifice.
Yeah, and also prosperity of the, Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
And over there, it's more collective harmony with the nature.
Correct.
Gratitude also.
Yes. Exactly. See, thanksgiving or something, it's like a word. See, even that purpose, like that is the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhava. Anna sambhava parjanyat. So then yagyo. See, like all these different prescriptions are there. So by performing, that is the initial stages. What Krishna says. Yes, you have to perform parasparam bhavayanto. You just try to please the demigods so that they also get. But ultimately, this is starting point of karma yoga, and then ultimately it is all given by him. So finally Krishna gives the instruction, I have given all of this, now sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Because I have given all the different processes, different paths and everything, but finally what is going to count is, if you surrender to me, then I will completely indemnify you from all these things, and I will take you back home, back to God. So that is a very higher understanding. Yes, eventually we have to come to that understanding. Yes, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurla. That is very rare, not ordinary thing. Like Vasudeva Sarvamiti means it is a very, very top level understanding that Vasudeva is everything. If a person comes to understanding, then that person is fit to go back home, back to God. But that will happen from the beginning, yes. First, that is why sometimes first people have fear for God. Like sometimes not immediately nobody has a love for God. Like they have fear for God. If I don't do this, God will punish me. That's a start. That good starting point. But that has to not only fear. Slowly that fear has to become. Yeah, it's my duty. Yes, I have to do that. Like a mother looks after the child. Mother looks after the child not just because of a fear or fear of the society or anything, because the love and affection. The same way, our duty to the Lord is just not like God, if I don't do this, Lord is going to beat me up or something. Not because of that fear. Yes, God has given everything. It is my duty. It's like you go to the post office, somebody gives you a pen. Immediately we say thank you. You can just take the pen and go away also. But why you thank you? Because the gratitude has to be there. Gratitude is there. The mood of gratitude is very, very important. If you don't have that, then we take things for granted, and then we just continue here for yonks actually. So that for that only Vedic scriptures give this. Yes, you do this, you offer this sacrifice to the devatas, you offer this sacrifice, and do all these things. Prescribed things are there so that we can gradually make advancement. Actually, that is why he says, if somebody follows the Vedic scriptures gradually, but at least the best thing is if you can get an association of pure devotee, then you will be fast-tracked. You will be fast-tracked. But if you don't, then slowly, you will make advancement. But there is a catch also. You may be sidetracked also. Not fast-tracked, sidetracked. You do something, you may get attracted. Oh, yeah, look, this loka looks good. So that's it, fish. Go there and finished for that another 100,000 year life in that loka only. But pure devotion, that is why Prabhupada is so urgent. The message of Prabhupada is so urgent, because we don't want a living entity to go back to the cycle again, to that loka or that graha, whatever, and then there for another yonks. No. So, but if somebody is made aware of this pure devotional service, going back home, back to garden, one person rescued also is very big thing actually. So that is where the whole effort is. And that's Prabhupada writes in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Even if one person reads this Bhagavad Gita and becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we consider all the efforts to be successful. Even one person. Prabhupada is so humble. He's saying the millions of people have taken to the process of Krishna consciousness and they are trying to perfect their life. When Prabhupada says, even one person reads this Bhagavad Gita and makes his life perfect, we consider all our efforts as success. And all the efforts are worth. Sometimes devotees wonder, is it worth the trouble, Prabhu, doing this, doing that, doing... Yes, it is worth. Because even one person becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Look at the situation. Prahlad Maharaj, one devotee, that's it, whole generation became liberated actually. Because one person means, become a pure devotee of the Lord is not an ordinary thing. So everybody will be liberated actually. Everybody will be blessed. Yeah, it starts like that only. A beginning, they may do. But eventually, that person has to be elevated to the next level. See behind all these things, what is behind. Then we understand what is the source, where it is coming from. Then their life will be perfect, actually. Okay, thank you. Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.